All right, everyone, good morning and welcome to SC Days. We are going to get started in just a second. Today's SC Day is hosted by SC Future Makers and powered by Tallo. My name is Paige and I am your host for today's event. I have the pleasure of working at Tallo as our workforce account manager, and today will be leading us through today's exciting and informative sessions. We appreciate the educators and students joining in the classroom statewide, tuning in to learn about career opportunities in healthcare in South Carolina. We're going to be kicking things off in just a few minutes, but I'd like to take the moment to drop some webinar knowledge on you. So one item of note is your video and audio will be off for the remainder of the event. So if you wave or say something we don't wave back, it's because we can't hear or see you, but we're excited to have you here. We would like you to take advantage of the Q&A. Every session will end with a live Q&A with our session hosts. So please submit your questions in the Q&A feature, and we will try to answer as many as we have time for at the end of each session. Before we get started, I wanted to extend a special thank you to SC Future Makers partners, the South Carolina Department of Commerce, and the Council on Competitiveness to making today's event possible. All right, it's about time to get started. We are going to jump in and play a couple videos, and then we'll be on a quick break and get started right at 9:15 with Aiken Rehab and Care Center.
I want to be a biomedical engineer.
I want to be a lead engineer in the aerospace defense industry.
And that's why I use Tallo.
On Tallo, I can find internships,
Scholarships.
The college of my dreams.
The company I've always wanted to work for.
On Tallo, I found confidence,
Direction.
And opportunity. On Tallo, I found the path to my dreams.
My name is Pierre LaBroche. I'm a freshman at Stanford University. I plan to major in computer science or mechanical engineering and aspire to be a robotics engineer once I graduate.
Hi, my name is Ayush Saha. I'm currently at age 18 studying computer engineering in UC Davis, and my future goal is to become a computational neuroscientist.
My name is Leah, and I'm currently a freshman here at Williams College. While I was a senior in high school, I would regularly go on Tallo to find scholarships, and I actually got a couple of them.
Tallo also has a nice feature of allowing you to connect really nicely with scholarships and colleges that are interested in you, or allow you to reach out to them. Through messages, these schools and scholarships can directly contact you, and you'd get a notification about it through email, and you'd be able to apply to them and respond back to them. I chose to use Tallo because of the format of the Tallo website. It had a profile that you can create that was able to house and serve as a location for all your accomplishments, activities, and honors in one location, which allowed you to seamlessly transfer it over to a resume. And these resumes that I was able to use because of Tallo was used heavily in a lot of scholarships and colleges I applied to, one of them being the Gates Scholarship. The resume I created from Tallo also allowed me to have talking points that I used to jump off of during these interviews.
So I found this event in Tallo called the STEM Signing Day, and I applied for it, and I was accepted as an honoree. That event was affiliated with Boeing. Soon afterward, I was accepted into the Boeing mentorship program for undergraduate freshmen. I had the chance to connect with dozens of software engineers from Boeing and learn about technical skills and about real-world practical projects being done by Boeing. I was also awarded a scholarship for my efforts connecting with the Boeing engineers.
I initially started using Tallo as a method to find scholarships for college, but Once I got into college and didn't really need it for scholarships anymore, it continued to prove incredibly useful. Now I've actually secured an internship because of information that I found on Tallo.
Tallo also allowed me to gain more confidence in my writing skills that I previously lacked right before I began university through a challenge called the Spotlight Challenge that had me create an article for the Tallo community. Through this challenge, I was able to practice my writing skills and become more at ease at sharing my writing with other people.
Tallo has made me confident in my career by showing me that corporate world dynamics and large companies are not just a faraway dream.
Once I got into college, I was able to actually work in New York City for a nonprofit because of an internship that I found on Tallo. And I continued to look at Tallo regularly, and I ended up securing another internship doing energy work for a pretty large energy company out here on the East Coast, which is going to be a really, really interesting introduction into a field of work that I really am interested in. So I've really used Tallo a lot, and it's been incredibly helpful in everything from applying to college, finding scholarships, finding internships, and other job opportunities. So thanks, Tallo.
All right, everyone, welcome back to SC Days. We are going to get started with our first session of the day. We are going to kick things off with Aiken Rehab and Care Center. Reminder attendees, you can use the Q&A to ask questions during the presentation today. And joining us today is Christopher Gordon, Human Resources Manager. Good morning, Christopher. How are you?
Good morning, Ms. Page. You doing all right?
I am. Thank you so much for jumping on with us this morning.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right, I will let you take it away.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Gordon. I am the native of Hampton, South Carolina. I graduated from the Technical College of the Low Country with a degree in industrial electronics and applied science. With that education, I've been in IT for the past 6 years, but just thought about that I needed a career change. So I jumped over to nursing home. Here at the nursing home, I've been here for the past year. I've been the office business manager, and right now I am the current role of human resource manager. I've seen many people walk across my doors with many smiling faces. I know really what we've been looking for and we're helping the community is nurses and CNAs. Those are the ones that really build up the nursing home. We have CNAs that take very good loving and care with many of our patients and residents, then also nurses who pass out meds and give many love and care. What made me get inside the nursing home facility is because I grew up in the background of loving and caring family, grandparents, and many other ones that show love and affection to others. Just how we always gave to many different others. When I first came here, I saw the love, the excitement, the joy that I once received as a child give to others. And that's what made me really draw more into the nursing home facility. Here at Aiken Rehab and Care Center, we have other facilities around the United States. We have some in Tennessee, and we all have others in Alabama. If anybody venture out, you can find our facilities. We're under the Vincicare umbrella, where our main boss is Miss Susan Strauss from New Jersey. She is a loving, sweet lady. She does many other questions for us. I see one question is, what is your favorite part at working at Rehab and Care Center? My favorite thing is loving on the residents. I've seen many of smiling faces. I had one lady who lived to be 100 years old, and me and her would always sit and read the Bible. We will always talk to each other. And finally, when she passed away, I was able to enjoy the moments where we read scriptures from Acts and many other passages. Just being here, like I said, the main care is CNAs and nurses. You will find many other people sitting and loving each other. And I know right now, I know pay is one of the big things that people ask around the United States. How much can we make or how much can we give? So here we have pay from years of experience off your license. So if you've been a nurse for almost a year, you make up to $26 an hour, almost up to $30 an hour. If you're coming in PRN, you make up to, I believe, $40 an hour. Plus you have shift differential, and also you get a sign-on bonus. Now, those come in mind, well, what about CNAs? CNAs, you can make a range of $13 to $18 an hour. Those are the ones that's just coming in fresh to start. And I always tell people, yeah, the pay may be not where you want it to be, but always come and get your feet wet, because usually hospitals is looking at how long have you been working at a nursing home? How long have you had your experience? So I always encourage people to come in, get your feet wet, try out something new, or just learn a few things before you venture off anywhere else, because this will give you the opportunity to say, okay, I like what I'm doing. I'm trying something new. Here at Aiken Rehabilitation, we have a lot of things that's come. We have Employee of the Month. We have staff appreciation. We have retention plans where we bring more people in to show our building how much we love them. And also later on down the line, we're bringing other new things for our building. Sorry. So trying to think of some more questions or give y'all some more information on us. Like I said, we are a growing building that is almost up to 180 employees here. We have many different positions here, from CNA, nursing, OT, hospital therapy. We have dietary managers positions. We have any position that you can think of is here. Like I said, it's always a foot inside the door to any place you want to go to. Or you can be like me, say, hey, I want a career change. I want to try something new. This is where you can say, okay, I would like to try change. So with that being said, that is, anybody have questions or want to ask something right quick, What should I do in high school to prepare for a career there? I would say if your school has any career paths. I know I used to go to school at Wade Hampton High School in Hampton, South Carolina. We had a program that lets you become a CNA. We went through many different courses. We had to test vital signs and all that. Then also when it's time, we went to, I forgot, I think it was in Rock Hill, they did testing. What they usually do, they test you to become a CNA. You get your CNA certification, then you're able to become a CNA. So there's a thing called credential. Credential lets you sign up for your skills, your written, and also your skills and written tests. And when you pass, you'll be able to become a CNA and try out anything or apply anywhere. How many employees work at Aiken Rehabilitation? There's up to 180 employees here. Like I said, there's many of the different positions here. We have dietary manager, we have activities. If y'all love to work with residents, not as a CNA, but as somebody that always planning activities for us, somebody that wants to do many different other things here. There's jobs here. What's skills do you think you need to have in the work here? I would say the skills that you need is to be patient. Always be patient with each other. Always show love and affection, because we realize, I always tell people that outside these four walls, there's other things going on. But when you come inside here, just show your love and affection, that you want to do the best that you can do for each other. How many residents do you have? We have up to 109 residents here. We are 3 different units. We have our wound care unit, well, our therapy unit, which stays here about 20 days, then they leave out. Then we have our long care unit, which is our Bradford and Dogwood. Usually they're here for a while to stay. So usually that's the ones that you see every day, you take care every day, and you just learn who they are. Then on our rehab floor, they're here for 20 days. They're here for therapy or to get better until they go back to their loved ones. I also wanted to talk about, not as a CNA, but you can all, like I said, you can do other things as well. We do have activities. I want to talk on that real quick. If you don't think that you want to be a CNA or a nurse, we have activities. Like I said, you can take care of your, just like little small games, little get-togethers, do picnics, go outside. You can do trips, go to petting zoos. And this is just where you can say, okay, this is just something that I want to try new. I see that was all the questions that was there. Do you think healthcare is a good career path for growth? I believe so. It is a good a good career path to grow, because we need good healthcare people. We need more nurses. We need more CNAs. I know lately there's been a nurse shortage, that many nurses are not becoming for applying for positions. So we need somebody that can take care of our loved ones. And I know we need people that will show love and affection as well. So this is a good career path, because I know usually if you're a travel nurse, you make a lot of money going to see different places. You get to go to North Carolina, Tennessee, and just to grow your career path. Also your resume saying, hey, I've been this place, that place. I've learned many different things inside my career path. Why again did you change into healthcare? So I changed into healthcare. I was in IT for the past 6 years, and I was just looking for a career change. I was tired of just looking at a computer all day and just working on troubleshooting desktop information. Then also I had to get glasses because my eyes was burning out staring at the screen all day. So I was like, well, God, I'm ready for a different path. I'm ready for a different adventure. So I came into nursing home. I started off as a business office manager, doing Medicare, healthcare, and all of that. Then I was passing out money to the residents for the ones who had money in their funds. Then I said, okay, I want more. I want to help other people that won't help. I want to learn about benefits. I want to learn about different paths that I can take inside HR role. So I became an assistant helping out others that needed help. Then I finally landed the role helping others, doing benefits, making sure that everybody get the proper treatment and care for each other. So that's why I went into a whole career path and change. And since then, I've been loving it. It's the best adventure I've been so far. Then I meet a lot of smiling faces, beautiful people. I hear a lot of stories from when they was younger, or this is what happened this time and how I came over. So that's why I did a change. Can you tell us about the tropical day work? So here I come in around 7:30. I greet all my staff. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. I talk to some of the residents that I see on a daily basis. I go to check on the ones that usually can't get out of bed. So I go sit with them, talk to them for a little while. Then usually on a busy day, I will go through morning meeting, which lasts around 9:30 to 10 o'clock, sit down with everybody, see what goes on with the busy day. Then I have interviews. Sometimes the interviews can last up to good 20 minutes, ask the person information, why they want to work here, what makes them a good candidate, see their background and how would they help improve the building. Because if you have somebody that just say, okay, I'm just here just to get money, I would say that's not a good candidate for the job. We want somebody that will help improve the business and also show good customer service. Because if you realize that customer service is one of the big key roles in everyday life, how are you doing? How can I help you? What can I do for you? We're looking for those type of people that will say, okay, they have good skills of customer service and want to help others. Then also just come and do midday, just doing paperwork and just trying to get some more understanding on different other areas. So that is typically how the day goes. Can you tell us about a little about what a day might look like for one of the nurses or CNAs? I would say the day for a nurse is real busy. Right now, I do have some orientees who's about to become our full-time staff here at Aiken Rehab and Care Center. And I would say as a nurse, it's mid-pass, making sure you do the vital signs, make sure that the resident that you're looking over is okay, make sure that he's given the proper care and proper treatment. For a CNA standpoint, I would say the CNAs are the busiest. They're the ones that are more hand-on, that watches you, that takes care of you, make sure you're fed. So a CNA, I would say, making sure that you're completely fine. They go in and check on you, they feed you, they sit with you for a while, they make sure that you have the proper care. Now, sometimes CNA jobs and nurse jobs are rough because sometimes we have to realize that sometimes the resident may not be having a good day. So we have to go the extra mile. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Is there anything I can give you right now? Or sometimes they just want you to sit with them. We have many of my nurses sometimes have one of the residents sit at the nurse's station with them and they just talk on them or they just give them a hug and say, I love you. So that is the type of care and love here at the facility that we give out. How many people are getting care at your center? Does it get really busy? It really does get really busy. When I first started here last year, I was told Friday and Mondays are the busiest. And I do believe since I've been here, it is the busiest. We have 109 people. What we do is we count census. Everybody that comes in is counted as a census. Usually, sometimes family members leave out or they go other places. And when it really get busy is when, for example, I call it all hands on deck. Sometimes I might get on the floor, I might feed some of the residents if our CNAs are real busy, or I help out the nurses, get them lunch, or figure out if y'all need anything. Because I believe that I'm not only an HR manager, but I'm also a worker myself, trying to make sure that everybody's getting the proper care and the proper need that they are getting. Do you ever have volunteers or interns come and work with you? Can I get involved in high school? We do have interns as, let's put it like this, in activities. We have people that come in and help all the time. And also we have people come in many different areas. If you're a graduate, you can get your foot coming in as a dietary manager or housekeeping. But in the state of South Carolina, you must have a CNA license before we hire you. We must have you already licensed before you come in and try the facility. But we do have people come in, volunteer, help out as much as we can. Or you can come up with one of our people that come and help us, like Crescent. They come in with many other people. They come in, help set up, they serve others like as I. What other jobs do you have other than nurses and CNAs? We have activity specialists. We have social workers here. We have admission teams that come and admit people here to our facility. We have dietary to help serve the employees and the residents here. We have housekeeping that makes sure the building is nice and clean. There's many different positions here besides CNA and nursing that will help improve a building. Then also we have transportation. If you want one of your loved ones need a ride somewhere, we give them a transportation, we put them in our van, we ship them off to where they need to come and we bring them right back. Then can talk about what it's like to be found with patients. I would say there was a lady that was here last year. Her name, I can't say her name, but she was here with us last year and she was most lovable resident I could meet. With the background of growing up in the church, me and her always sat and we prayed together. And she was one of my heartstrings. I loved her to the fullest. She was the most sweetest lady. When she started declining in health because she was up in age, I would always still go beside her, read her Bible, read her scriptures, and we would always talk upon it. And seeing that smile made my day. Seeing her laugh and giggle always bring excitement. And what I really loved about it is I always gave her chocolate. So when I always saw her, she always lifted her hand out and she would ask for a piece of chocolate. And I always broke it apart for her and we would share chocolate or sodas together. And those are the bonds that I've created here at Aiken Relocation. I have other people that I sit and I talk with, I love on, and I just love hearing their stories. What do you look for when you're hiring a candidate? What skills or personalities? I'm looking for someone that's always, I put it like this. I'm looking for somebody who's patient with others, who likes to listen, because I look for candidates that are looking for myself. I like to listen. I like to sit with people and take understanding and learning. I also look for people that has good customer traits, who's always trying to go outgoing, who wants to learn something new, who wants to go the beyond. I know I hired somebody that was straight out of the high school a couple of weeks ago and literally fresh out of high school. And she has her CNA license and all. And for the first time, she changed somebody here. And she was excited, like, oh my God, I changed somebody. This is my first time doing this. Or I fed somebody, or I took vital signs, I did this and that. So those are the type of people I look for that's very excited about what they're doing. They come in every day and they're like, oh, I'm here. But they're smiling, they're excited, they're going, and they're not worried about what's going on. They're just worried about taking care of others. I know I have a couple more minutes. Where can I find open jobs? If you look on Indeed, we have open positions there. We have several open positions right now that are open for CNAs and nurses. Also, if you think about going to the therapy side, we have PTAs that we're looking for as well. So anything that you're looking for, you can find it on Indeed, and we're always posting for new positions. Or one day I might be asking, hey, can you come in if you have a talent or a trait that we can show the residents? We do have little outside people that come in and do talent shows. For the day this week is nursing home week, so I have some outside people that's coming in bringing bunny rabbits in to show others residents here. Do you need a 4-year degree to work there? Actually, you do not need a 4-year degree. I only have associate's degree here, and I believe some might have 4 years, some might have 2, some might not even have a degree. But it's based upon your resume, what you've been doing while you're working, what skills and traits have you been learning, what information have you been growing with, because those are the certain things that I look for in a resume. What traits, what skills, how long you've been doing a certain thing, and what makes you excited and what you're doing.
All right, Christopher, it looks like that was the last question that came in today.
Thank you, Ms.
It
Page.
looks like we're running right up to time. So thank you everyone for submitting all of those questions for Christopher. And thanks so much, Christopher, for talking about Aiken Rehab Center. It really sounds like you love your job and that you are really happy, and that Aiken Rehab Center is a great place to work. So we encourage any, students joining today and educators to look into Aiken Rehab and look into careers there if you're interested in going into healthcare and one of those professions that Christopher highlighted today. So thank you so much for joining, Christopher. And we're going to go on a quick break, and then we will be back with our next section today.
Thank you, Ms. Page.
All right, everyone, we are going to get started with our second session of the day. Joining us, we have Tidelands Health, and our next session is going to be Caitlin Krask, the Assistant Deputy Director of Tidelands Health. Good morning, Caitlin. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. We're excited to be a part of today's presentations.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. Well, we'll let you go ahead and take it away from here.
Perfect. All right, I'm just going to begin sharing my screen.
Perfect.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Caitlin Krask, and I'm with Tidelands Health. Can everyone see my screen okay?
We can.
All right, great. So today I'm just going to talk a little bit about Tidelands Health and healthcare in general. So just a little bit about Tidelands Health. We are the region's largest healthcare provider with an affiliate with MUSC Health. We serve the Carolinas at 4 hospitals and more than 60 outpatient locations. We do serve Georgetown, Williamsburg, and Horry County. And in the next few years, we are building an additional hospital, which will be the Tidelands Health Carolina Bays, located in the Carolina Forest area. As you can see on this slide, we employ more than 2,500 employee, physician, and volunteer partners who are working side by side with our communities to transform the health of our region, promoting wellness, preventing illness, and encouraging recovery and restoring health. We do have our 2 major hospitals, which is Tidelands Waccamaw Community Hospital and then Tidelands Georgetown Memorial Hospital. And just like any other organization, we do have a mission, vision, and purpose. So our mission is we will help people live better lives through better health. Our vision is we will be the region's first choice for health and wellness. And our purpose is better health begins here. So just to jump into healthcare. So why healthcare? What makes someone want to go into healthcare? And then who is healthcare? All those different factors make up our facilities, our healthcare system, and not only Tidelands Health, but all of our partnering organizations who take care of the patients in the community. So why healthcare? To help others. Just a great example of this is the Tidelands Health Community Care Network. So the Tidelands Community Care Network integrates clinical and non-clinical aspects to serve the patients of the community. The network is a public-private partnership that helps break down barriers to provide access to medical care for the uninsured and underinsured adults. The network was established in 2011 with the support of the Duke Endowment. In Georgetown County, there's about 15% of the population under the age of 65 who do not have health insurance. So the Tidelands Community Care Network brings together a network of healthcare providers, community agencies to help the community members navigate through obstacles to receive that health care that they need. Network partners include area hospitals, free clinics, healthcare centers, volunteer physicians, human services, community and government organizations. So that kind of gives a great aspect of why we do this. It's not just to care for our patients within the facilities or make money or whatever it may be. It truly is to help our community. Because if you think about it, if patients or community members don't have access to health care and they need that health care support, they won't receive it unless some people have the want to help them. So that's a great reason why we have our community care network, just to get into the community and help those individuals who do not have health insurance or don't have access or have those obstacles to healthcare. So I mentioned why is to help people. So this is a great video as to Kenneth Flowers, one of our patients who received care, and it just warms your heart about how it is so crucial to help our patients in the area. So I'll play this video real quick.
I'm originally from the Florence area, and when I was working with a company in management for 35, 40 years, and I got transferred down to Georgetown. I was very active. I couldn't be still and was always on the go. I'm an insurance salesman, and by being an insurance salesman, you have to get out and work. I worked 5 to 6 days a week, and I had retired, but I couldn't stand that, so I went back to work. I had a stroke on August the 8th. I was out cutting grass, come in and eat lunch, and decided I was going to watch TV a few minutes, and then I laid down, then I got sick and threw up everything that I had eaten that day. And I don't know if that's when it happened or what, but as the evening progressed, I got weaker. I went to Georgetown Memorial Hospital, and then on Thursday, that happened on Saturday, on Thursday, I was transferred to Waccamaw. The care was wonderful. The nurses and everybody here was just great. And they took real good care of me. Enjoyed what they did for me. They worked with me with my speech. My speech is still slurred some, but Lindsay did a good job in working with me with that. She was very sweet, very understanding, and she took her time and she worked with me with my words. I still have trouble with some of my speech. I hope that eventually will go away. I want to thank them for what they did. I'm sorry. I couldn't walk. I couldn't use my right side. Excuse me. Couldn't use my right side. And then once I got over here, they taught me how to walk. Taught me to walk with a walker and taught me to walk with a cane. When I left here, I still couldn't use my right side fully, but my right hand, I could use my right hand some. And when I got home, I kept working, doing what they told me to do. I get emotional. When I got home, I learned how to walk, but without the walker or the cane. Without rehabilitation, I'd still be in the bed, because it took them to get me to walking and moving around, and I'm thankful for that. And I got a lot to be thankful for, because I could be in the bed all the time, or I'd get home. If it wasn't for that, they taught me how to wash myself, take a shower by myself. They taught me how to dress and how to put on my shoes and socks. And I'm not completely tied to just a house. I can get out and do a little bit. They won't let me drive yet. I hope that comes next. But they do let me drive the golf cart and get out and go see people and mess around a little bit, and that breaks the monotony of sitting in the house, being bored to death. I would advise anybody to take therapy. It doesn't matter what kind of operation you have or what you do. They do help you to get back on your feet again and get going. There's a lot of things that you don't realize that you don't have until you miss it. And when I was in therapy, I could see a lot of people that was a little bit worse off than I was. It made me thankful made me thankful that I wasn't like some of those. I could have been bedridden the rest of my life, but the Lord has blessed me that I can get out and walk and get out and do things. And it's just amazing how well I've done since I've had it. And it was all thankful to Waccamaw Hospital and the therapists and the nurses for coming in and giving me those shots.
So that was one of our patients, and that is the why in healthcare, truly helping someone. Like he mentioned, if he didn't receive that care and that rehabilitation, he may have been bedridden for the rest of his life. So that video will warm your heart and make you just want to care for people. So that is the why in healthcare, to help our patients. So with that, Tidelands Health is an evidence-based care facility. So something new and exciting is we are the first in South Carolina for moms and babies. We have earned our advanced certification in prenatal care from the Joint Commission. So in recognition of our high quality childbirth program, we did in 2023, a few months ago, became the first to receive this in the state of South Carolina and the second in the United States to earn this certification from the Joint Commission. We are also the first in South Carolina to be designated as a baby-friendly and international recognition administered by the World Health Organization and UNICEF. It is awarded to hospitals and birthing centers that offer optimal care for breastfeeding mothers and their babies. So that's very exciting. We're always looking for different ways that we can advance our care and assist our patients within the community. So within healthcare, there's clinical and non-clinical jobs. So just to name a few non-clinical jobs, if you're more interested in the business route of the healthcare system in the hospital. So administrative support, that can be receptionists, patient service representatives. We have practice managers, recruiters, janitorial support, case managers, accounting, and more. So there's a position for everyone. No matter what your interest is, there's something for you within healthcare. And I would say our top 5 clinical jobs that we're hiring, if you're interested in that clinical hands-on patient care, the top 5 that Tidelands is hiring for right now are physicians, nursing, imaging staff within the lab, and then medical assistants. So those 2 are the who is healthcare. It's both clinical and non-clinical. Something that I'd like to highlight is some of our specialties within Tidelands Health. So there's more, but these are our specialties that we like to highlight. So just to name a few, family medicine, we actually, we're a learning hospital, teaching and learning hospital. So we have residents who come on site. We get a new cohort each year, which is very exciting within our family medicine practice. And it's a great opportunity to provide education to those individuals, but also we try to retain them so we can offer great care to our community members. Neurosciences, digestive health, surgical services, pediatrics, cancer services. These are, like I said, this is just a few, but there's so much more. And then something cool that I would like to highlight is our robotic assisted surgery. Our robot, his name is Da Vinci, and this is just a quick video on our robot.
Many of the traditional laparoscopic surgeries we transition into robotic procedures.
We're able to perform the operations that we usually do just in a better, more efficient fashion.
The robot will allow us to use the same type of traditional laparoscopic instruments, but with more visual acuity and better articulation of the actual instruments themselves.
And we are controlling these robotic arms via this console. So we are always in control. Every movement that we do is translated to the robot.
The instruments that we use for laparoscopic procedures are straight and fixed, so they can just rotate around one axis. One of the advantages of robotic surgery is the instruments will actually rotate and articulate just like your normal hands do. So we describe it as almost doing open surgery from a laparoscopic approach. The robotic system actually has 2 camera lenses and shows the exact same thing just as you'd be looking inside a patient's abdomen. The magnification is also almost 10 times what it is just by looking at it from the naked eye. So we can see detail that we've never seen before.
You can fine tune the robot to every 3 inches I move, it only moves 1 inch, meaning that it is 3 times more precise than a human being can be outside of surgery. So it takes the best surgeon in the world and makes them 3 times more precise.
The dexterity of the robotic arms. The robot is able to actually articulate around a fixed point, so there's less stress on the actual incision. And often with the types of staplers and bipolar instruments that we have for some advanced platforms, we actually are able to use smaller instruments than we would with traditional laparoscopic or open procedures.
This translates to smaller incisions, less postoperative pain, needing less postoperative pain medications, and getting back to their daily lives quicker.
So that's something that is new and upcoming, and healthcare is always changing. So you'll never be bored if you go into healthcare, because there's always new technology, new ways of providing care. The list is endless. So that's just one technological advance that I like to highlight, because who knows, in the next 5 years, it could be something even more advanced. And just to highlight career pathways, it's critical for students to conduct research on what career interests you, and also take into consideration the duties of the job. Do some research, because you may know that a nurse gives the patient medication, but you may not know that they are assisting in all these different areas and what different units they can work on. Also take into consideration years of education. If you don't want to go to school for 10 years, additional 10 years after high school, and you may want to go for 2 years after high school, there's different educational degrees that you can jump into, that are 2, 10, whatever you prefer. Salary. So what salary are you interested in making? Financial requirements for tuition. And of course, your personal goals and your passion. It's important to take all those factors into consideration when you're trying to find a career. And then educational opportunities. Observe and shadow on site, talk to a professional, and conduct your research. And those are the top things that you should look into when you're trying to find your dream career. And that is it for my presentation, and we'll go into a few Q&As.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Everyone, if you have any questions for Caitlin, you can submit those in the Q&A now. It looks like we have the first one that has come in. Do you have any internships or job shadow opportunities?
So we do. Within Tidelands Health, we do have shadowing opportunities, and we have student volunteer opportunities. If you are interested in a job shadowing opportunity or volunteering, you can go on Google, and it's pretty easy. Just type in Tidelands Health and students, and Google will bring up our direct page to the student and educational website where you can request an opportunity on site with Tidelands Health.
Perfect. The next question is, what is your favorite part about working at Tidelands?
So I would say my favorite thing about working at Tidelands Health. So within my job, I work with students and staff all day long. So I get to see students who maybe come in shadow in high school, and then they want to go into a nursing program. And then within their nursing program, they'll come on site and complete their clinical rotations. And then I get to work with our recruitment team within human resources to try to recruit those individuals. So I do get to see a lot of individuals as they progress in their career in healthcare, and hopefully onboard them. And I just enjoy working to see how our future in healthcare can help our community members.
That's great. Next question is, what skills or qualities should a person have in healthcare?
So that varies on your role and what position, but I would just say basic for anyone, both clinical and non-clinical, is you care. You truly want to help others. Professionalism. I would start working on practicing professional emails, how to make a professional phone call, having those professional conversations and interviewing, because that will get you far. And always being determined and ready to work hard. Like I said, there's always changes within healthcare, both on the clinical and non-clinical side. So you have to be flexible in your ability to learn new things and accept challenges as they come to you.
Perfect. And then the last question is, what should I do now in high school to prepare for a career in healthcare?
So I would sit down and think about what interests you, and then go from there. I would go on Google and start looking at the different responsibilities of each of those careers that you're interested in. And once you've kind of narrowed it down, and it could be 5 that you've narrowed it down to, go talk to a professional, go shadow. The professionals will be more than happy to talk to you on how they got to their career, and maybe some tips and tricks that, we would never even think about. So I suggest just doing your research and talking and networking to as many people as you can.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Caitlin, for joining and telling us all about Tidelands Health today. I know I learned a lot, so we really appreciate you jumping on this morning. And we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with our next session, which is going to be with the South Carolina Hospitals Association. right, everyone, we are going to get started with our last session of the day. We have South Carolina Hospital Association joining us. Unfortunately, the guests were not able to be with us live this morning, but they prepared a wonderful recorded session for us to show today. So joining us will be Morgan Bone, the Director of Member Engagement and Workforce Development. So we are going to go ahead and show that session for you that Morgan prepared.
Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Bound, and I am with the South Carolina Hospital Association. I'm excited to be with you all today to talk about healthcare careers and all of the opportunities of the future in the healthcare industry. So let's get started. For a little bit of background information on who I am and what I do, I'm the Director of Member Engagement and Workforce Development for SCHA. I'll share a little bit more about our organization in a few minutes, but just to kind of back up a little bit, I received my undergraduate degree from East Carolina University up in North Carolina. My degree is in health education and promotion with a concentration in community health. This is a place where I learned that I really wanted to be in healthcare. I wanted to work in the healthcare industry, but it's also the place where I learned that I didn't need to necessarily be in a clinical role. Mostly because I almost passed out during a few surgical procedures that I was shadowing. After graduation from East Carolina, I went on to pursue my master's in healthcare administration from the University of South Carolina, go Gamecocks. And while I was in graduate school, I realized that I really wanted to just get as much experience as possible because I still wasn't positive on, exactly which area in the healthcare sector I wanted to work. So I decided to volunteer for about 10 hours a week. And I found SCHA that, was willing to take a volunteer. So after a few months of volunteering and getting some experience, I ended up getting hired as a graduate assistant while I was still in my master's program. And then after working for a few years for a year as a graduate assistant, I ended up being offered a full-time position with the association, which I was super excited and grateful for. So I tell you all of that, not just to give you information on myself, but to be a living, breathing example that if you put yourself out there and volunteer or, try something new that might be outside of your skill set, or even just put yourself out there and say, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but I know I want to be in healthcare, then it can all end up working out for you. Because again, here I am 8 years later, having the opportunity to talk to you all about all the healthcare careers in South Carolina. So a little bit more information, like I said, about who SCHA is. We're a private, not-for-profit organization founded in 1921. So we are over 100 years old. A few years ago, we celebrated our 100th year anniversary, which was really exciting because obviously a lot has changed in healthcare in 100 years, but here we are. We represent about 100 member hospitals in the state and health systems, which have more than 80,000 employees in South Carolina. So our job essentially is to serve as the collective voice of all of South Carolina's hospital community. So if you're driving down the road and you pass a hospital in South Carolina, they are members with us. We work with them. We work on their behalf. So we work with all of our member hospitals and other partners in the state to really, our goal is to create a healthier future for communities in South Carolina through advocacy, innovation, and collaboration. So during this presentation, I'm going to touch on a few different things, industry needs being one, career opportunities being another, and tips for students who are interested in healthcare, partnership opportunities that exist, and resources that are available if, maybe you're kind of like me and you want to be in healthcare, but you're not exactly sure what the next step is to take or where you may fit in the big picture. So the big question that I've said before, and I'm going to be saying a lot throughout this presentation, is why healthcare? And the simple answer to that is there are so many reasons why this industry is a great choice for today's student. One of the biggest reasons why overall healthcare is a great industry to work in is the need. So it is the fastest growing sector in the US economy, which is a big deal. As an industry, healthcare employs over 18 million people. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of jobs. So healthcare is also projected in the future to add more jobs than any other occupational group. So again, 18 million, plus they're planning to employ more jobs, add more jobs than any other group or occupation. It'll grow about 15% from now until 2029, which comes out to be about 2.4 million new jobs. So there's already 18 million that exist. We're going to add 2.4 million more. There's a lot of room for a lot of people to join the healthcare industry. The American Hospital Association, which is our national counterpart, they work with all the hospitals in the United States for the most part, and also the state hospital associations like SCHA that represent them. They collected information a few years ago that shared the hospital support 16.5 million total jobs, or about 1.9 jobs in the United States. So that's not even just in healthcare. It's all the jobs that are supported by healthcare. And another fun fact is that hospitals, specifically in the United States, support almost $3 trillion in economic activity. So again, a lot of jobs, but a big economic force in terms of how much money and economic activity it can generate. So what does that mean for you as a student, or even as an educator listening to this presentation? It means that the future healthcare employees entering the field have stability and security, right? So by working in healthcare, all the statistics I've shared with you, the statistics you see on the screen, you can see that you have a great opportunity to jump in and find a career that is in high demand right now. And in South Carolina, that need is not anticipated to change anytime in the future. Over the next 25 years, the population of people who will be aged 65 or older is expected to double. I think most of us know that it's a retirement destination in South Carolina. We have a lot of beautiful beaches. We also have the mountains. We have a little bit of everything, and people see that and they love our warm temperatures, so they want to be here. So that's only, again, going to even more so secure the need for healthcare professionals, because that group of the population will need more healthcare needs, or they will have more healthcare needs. So if you're only going to take one thing away from this entire presentation, I hope that it's this next part that we're about to cover, which is the career opportunities in healthcare and how endless they truly are. So in healthcare, there are many different paths that are available to people. Each path has its own unique and interesting components to consider. So when you're thinking about the different jobs in healthcare, consider a few of the following things, because again, this is not a one-size-fits-all approach. There are lots of opportunities for every type of student or professional in healthcare. So the first thing to consider is the length of schooling or education needed for a job in healthcare. Not all the careers in the healthcare sector require you to go to school for 8 or more years after high school. There are actually lots of professions and jobs that require only the completion of a certificate program. Others require 2 or 4 more years of additional education beyond high school. But there are many high schools in South Carolina that offer certificate programs, so that you could be in that health science pathway right now, working with your teachers to get certifications or credentials, and you could be getting job experience and building your resume right now. And you could also be making some money. And I'll do a quick little detour there. Hospitals are great about supporting their workforce. So if you were to start working there in high school, and then you wanted to, grow in your profession, or just, maybe even move into another clinical path, hospitals are great about helping with tuition assistance, tuition reimbursement, scholarships, and helping their employees grow in every possible way. So that's definitely a great opportunity that's available to South Carolina students specifically. Another thing to consider is patient interaction. So not all careers are going to require an individual to interact with patients day in and day out. And it's important to think about how comfortable you may be working with patients all day, or if you would prefer, not to work directly with people. Another one that you see right there on the screen is anticipated salary. Healthcare careers vary in their projected salary and how much money you can make. So it's an important factor to research and think about in terms of what type of lifestyle you want to have, things of that nature. Another thing to consider is interaction with blood or bodily fluids. There are certain careers that are going to interact with those things a little bit more than others, blood, needles, bodily fluids, while others, like mine, have absolutely no interaction with any of that. I personally did not deal well with that, as I mentioned earlier. So it's okay. It's okay to have self-awareness of where you feel like you will do your best. And the final one to discuss is work setting. So working in the emergency department or, a freestanding ED or an urgent care is very different than riding around in an ambulance or working as a paramedic. Similarly, another thing to consider would be that working in a doctor's office, a pediatrician's office, versus working at a desk is a very different type of experience than the other ones I just mentioned. So by knowing the work setting you may be interested in, it will help you narrow down the career options. So this is a busy slide. There's a lot going on it. But most importantly, there are about 32 healthcare professions listed on this slide. So you may notice that a few of them listed on the slide are not a physician or a nurse, so a doctor or a nurse, which are the two most common career paths that people think about when they think about healthcare. And they're two very important positions in healthcare. We have lots of doctors and lots of nurses, and we still need lots more of both. The professions listed on this slide represent varying levels of education, all the things we mentioned on the last slide, the varying levels of education, salary, patient interaction, and so on. So as you can see, all of these careers are very different. Some are based in a lab, and some spend more time in a physician's office setting, like we mentioned. Others have the opportunity to build long-lasting relationships with their patients. And then certain ones that you see are going to be more focused on delivering life-saving treatment to those who are in need of critical emergent care. So I say that, think about the relationship you maybe have with your doctor that you see once a year for a checkup or when you're sick. That doctor gets to know you and sees you frequently, versus if you go to the emergency room, it's not likely that you would see the same person because hopefully you're not there very often. So that was what I meant by that specific comment. And then you're also going to see here that some of the occupations or the careers that are listed in red are ones that you probably have heard a lot more about over the past 3 to 4 years since COVID came into our lives. Prior to the pandemic, many of these careers didn't end up in the spotlight very often. They all still existed and they were all very important. And they continue to be very important. They just weren't exposed as much because, again, we traditionally talk about the doctor and the nurse very, very frequently in healthcare. But the public has now been exposed on a large scale to the critical roles that many of those professions that are in red on the slide play and how they have always been a very important part of patient care. So we have used this increased awareness since COVID to really highlight the critical role that all healthcare employees play in patient care, as well as to just expose individuals to the reality that there's lots of people on the care team. So if you're one patient and you see your doctor and your nurse, and maybe even the receptionist who checks you in, there's 10 to 15 people also in that pipeline who are helping take care of that one patient. So for example, the doctor or nurse that may be providing you with the results, if you go, say you had to go get a COVID test when you were sick, or even get a flu test. So we'll use the flu as a good example because that happens, every year very frequently. They are not actually the ones running that test. So the nurse comes into the room, or the nursing assistant or the medical assistant comes into the room and actually, gets the swab to take the test. Then they send it to a lab or have a nurse or medical laboratory professional run the test, depending on if you're at a doctor's office or in a hospital. And then those people will actually run the specific laboratory tests, but then your doctor, your nursing, and will bring you back the results. So that's on a small scale of an example. But again, these professionals are all part of your care team and all have a very important job. So all the careers that you just saw on that previous slide, plus many, many others, are included in career profiles on our BeSomethingAmazing.com website, which serves as a career exploration tool for students, guidance counselors, teachers, educators, parents, everyone really. And through the website, we share as many resources as possible. We have blog posts, career profiles, videos, something we call a career starter tool. We even have a how to get there guide and many other resources to help increase the awareness of the variety of careers in healthcare. Our goal is to add 5 to 10, sorry about that, guys, new career profiles every year. And all the information included on the site is based on South Carolina data and South Carolina people and South Carolina information. So the videos that you see on those video profiles are real South Carolina healthcare professionals. Those are not videos that we generically got from somewhere else. They are South Carolinians working in our very own hospitals. And the other really cool thing about this website is that the salary data is also based on South Carolina information. That is information that we collect at SCHA through an annual compensation survey that we do. So it's not some salary figure that we just Googled and looked up. It's something that we know for a fact is true. It comes from our hospitals, and we update that as frequently as we can when we get the survey results. We're actually in the process of updating that right now because we just got those results back. We are also in the process of adding additional resources right now for students, hospitals, teachers, counselors, parents, educators, everybody who may be interested in this information. So be sure to check back regularly. And we also love to connect classrooms, students, teachers with hospital professionals. So we love to help make those connections for guest speakers or career shadowing opportunities. So that's also a way you can contact us, is through the website for those opportunities. So next, we will touch on a few tips or a few things to consider if you are interested in pursuing a career in healthcare, which hopefully you are after everything you've heard so far. If you think that you might be interested in working in healthcare, there's a few things that you may want to consider. If you see on the slide, I've got all these things kind of lined out for you. I apologize for all the text, but it is all very important. First off, you need to research, as we mentioned, research the different career options in healthcare. Think beyond the traditional or more well-known careers. There is something for everyone in healthcare. I always like to say that a hospital functions like a mini city. You have everybody from environmental services to engineers, doctors, nurses, lab professionals, healthcare administrators. You have people who run the finances and crunch the numbers, IT people who help us with our cybersecurity efforts and whatnot. There is a role for everyone. Another important thing to consider is that you should get involved with healthcare-based organizations or school-related organizations like SC HOSA, Future Health Professionals. For those of you who are familiar, we work very closely with that group, so I would highly encourage you to get involved with them if you can, if you have a chapter at your school. It's also a great thing to consider job shadowing at a local hospital. Again, getting your foot in the door and getting that experience. And then for your benefit as a student, it also provides you with an opportunity to see what you may or may not be interested in. Volunteering is also something worth considering. Taking healthcare, science, or math-related courses at your school or your district's career and technology center. Be sure to do your own research and look at what program or track is necessary to be on for the career path that you may be interested in. Because again, you may have certain educational requirements based on what school you choose to pursue your career, if it is one that requires an advanced degree. And then research the entry requirements for those programs. That's a big one. Make sure you know what you need to do before you would like to apply, if that is relevant to your career of choice. And then talk to as many healthcare professionals as possible. Healthcare professionals are great about telling you what their job is like. Again, back to that besomethingamazing.com video or website with all the videos on the career profiles. You can click on those and listen to those people tell you about what a day in their job looks like, what they love about their job, what got them most interested in their job. So you can watch the videos, but also I encourage you to reach out to as many healthcare professionals as possible, because they would love to tell you what they love most about their job and kind of their story to how they got where they are. So for resources, you can always contact me. Again, my name is Morgan Bound. I'm sure my contact information can be made available to you. I'm pretty sure it's on one of the next few slides as well, but you can always go to scha.org and find my contact information on there as well. And then for students and educators, you see a lot of different things on this slide. I've mentioned the How to Get There guide, which is on our besomethingamazing.com website. Our Career Starter tool, which is the quiz that you can take. You can put in how long you want to go to school for, how much money you want to make, again, how comfortable you are interacting with bodily fluids, how comfortable you are interacting with patients and things like that. And when you finish the quiz, it generates a list for you of things or careers that may be most applicable to what you're interested in. And then that item at the top is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Every year they generate an occupational outlook handbook, which is a great resource. It's not the most fun resource to read necessarily, I will say, but it is a great resource with lots of good information. And then another exciting resource that I wanted to mention is our hsforhiring.com website, which is a campaign that we launched in 2022, so at the end of last year. The goal of this website is to put all the resources in one place for students, parents, educators, or those even transitioning between professional careers later on in life, to put all of those resources in one place for those who may be interested in the healthcare field. It has a lot of great information out there, and it's definitely worth checking out. So as promised, here's my contact information. There's my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, or if you would like to find shadowing or volunteer opportunities in a hospital, or even if you're just curious about me coming to speak to your class. I'm glad to help always, however I can. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. Well, that is our last session of the day. It has truly been a pleasure hosting all of you here, from our attending students in the classroom to the employers who took the time out of their busy schedules to share the importance of the industry here in South Carolina. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who made this event possible. Again, we'd like to thank the session hosts and participants for sharing their experience. A special thanks to SC Future Makers. We thank you. We will be sending the recording of this event out in resources in the next week, so please keep a lookout from an email from Team Tallow. On the behalf of SC Future Makers Initiative and Tallow, we thank you again for joining SC Days Healthcare. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.